deck. So we're at 2-drop. We got Bob here.
Yo. I'm here for GOAT.
Here for GOAT.
That's what I do.
Like he's our
GOAT.
Yo, chill.
No, don't even say that.
He's
bro.
our GOAT pioneer.
Strong words.
He literally came here with a GOAT deck. Now everybody's voting GOAT.
Bro. I'm ready to GOAT. Let's get some people on your GOAT, man.
All right, let's see your GOAT deck, bro.
Oh, this is my GOAT deck. It's a standard meta GOAT control deck. Pretty straightforward right off the bat. BLS, boss ass card, bro. You can't even argue, bro. If you can run lights and darks, you're running this card.
Yep.
No questions asked. Next, I main deck the Jinzo. A lot of people cite it. I like it in the main because once it comes out, you need to main deck something like Bazoo to get over it. You need to waste some sort of stupid way to get over it. All in all, pretty good ass card. Also main deck the Parshaft. Some people cite it. I think those people are dumb. Main deck that shit, bro. Anyways, next we go into the Warrior toolbox. Pretty generic here. A lot of people don't like running the Blade Knight or the DD Assailant. I like all four. I like rotating into exactly what I need to do to answer the field. So yeah, that's pretty basic. Then I main deck the Kaiku. Kaiku's so good. Gets over the Chaos. Gets over the Sinisters that are in the graveyard. Ruins a light dark target. So good.
Ruins Magician of Fade.
Yeah, dude. It's such a good hit. Like, I love summoning this on the field and putting pressure on my opponent, ruining their graveyard potential. That's pretty standard though. Then we get into standard stuff like Breaker, one of. Pretty good card. Pop a back row. It also helps you bait out your plays before you start going off.
Yep.
Tribe Infecting, another generic card. Once you have the Sinister in hand, this is live, bro. So why not run it, you know? Then I run one Exerion. A lot of people run two. Some people run three. I like one because I don't like drawing into it that frequently. I'd rather draw into power cards. Like Sangan. If I got these two in my hand, I'd always summon the Sangan over the Exerion, dude. Your opponent doesn't want to activate his effect by punching into it, so they're usually going to waste a Book of Moon or a knock on it.
Yeah, they'll slow you down. They'll give you advance.
Yeah, no, and like where they'll crash their DD Warrior Lady into it, and like now they don't have the Lady for the BLS of the Jinzo. They wasted on a stupid ass Sangan. So also Dark Target, pretty good card. I also main deck one Tsukiyomi. I don't run two. I like running two books instead of Tsukiyomi, but Tsukiyomi is really cool. Gets your 1000 Eye plays off real well. But yeah, I don't think two's necessary. Run one is sure in the main. I know a lot of people side this, but I like maining it because every deck runs GOAT, so why not main deck an answer to the GOAT?
Not wrong.
Yeah, and it's another light target, you know, it's just nice to have those. And then I main deck two Magicians of Faith. Pretty standard choice there. Don't like drawing into it because it always gets knocked, and yeah, that's like a fact. It always gets knocked. Morphing Jar. I used to run Cyber Jar and Morphing Jar. Then I ran just Cyber Jar. Now I'm running just Morphing Jar. I like this more than the Cyber Jar because you can play around it. If you draw 5 cards, or 6 cards I guess, and you set this and then 2 cards, your opponent probably won't see that it's a Morphing Jar, or you can force them into playing into it. All in all, it's just a hassle for your opponent to get into if you play around it. And you can search into Sangan, but Cyber Jar, it's like a little too break-even-y, so I don't like it. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I like that. And the Sinister. Why not? One of the best cards in that format. There's a reason as that one. So that's the monster count. Pretty hefty. The idea I'm going for here is almost always having a monster in hand, and it works. And then for the spell count up, we have the basic trio right here. Amazing field control. Why made field control, draw control,
hand controls, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's what made GOAT format so awesome. Drawing into one of these cards ever is like you activate almost immediately. Pretty good cards. You know what I'm saying? Then we run 2 Scapegoats. I don't like running 3. I don't like running 1. 2 seems to be really good. Creates a good wall. Gives you meta targets. Speaking of meta, 2 metas, bro.
2 metas.
I know a lot of lists ran like 3-3. I don't like seeing this in my hand too frequently. It's live very frequently because I run the Magician of Faith, I run the Sinister, and the Goats. But I don't want to see it all the time. I feel like my deck has enough steam as it is without the 1000 Eyes, but of course 1000 Eyes makes it so much better. The 2 Goats is ideal in my opinion. Then I run 2 books. Some people run 1, some people run 3. I like 2. Since I'm only running 1 Tsukiyomi, I want to see this eventually, especially since without wasting my normal summon, I can reset my 1000 Eyes, and I can chain to an attack like Jinzo attack or Parshaft effect or attack. So that's pretty vital in my opinion. And then on top of the 2 books, I also run 2 knocks. Of course, why wouldn't you run knock? Every monster, every deck in this format also set cards. So knocking your opponent before they can get a Faith off or a Merchant off is pretty good, especially since I don't run the Merchants. So yeah, it gets over a lot of stuff essentially. Then I run some field control cards, pretty obvious right here. These 2 are pretty pretty basic. This is my personal tech choice. I always get this off. Either it stops an attack, or I tribute one of my monsters to ruin their plays, and I almost always tribute
the tokens?
Yeah, a token.
Yeah.
And if it's not a token, it's going to be a Magician of Faith that I'm sure is going to be dead or something.
Trash.
Yeah, something trash. Essentially, this helps me on a lot of situations. Usually I side it out game 2, 3, so I can tech in better, more specific stuff, but this helps out a lot. Comes in clutch. I recommend you guys give it a shot. You know, like it, comment, leave, subscribe. You know, just let us know how it goes. But run Econ in your goat deck, you fools. All right, then we run the basic Premature Burial. This card wins you games. If you top deck it, you get your BLS back out. You get your 1,000 Eyes back out. Get field control. Pretty straightforward. Then we run the back row control.
Yeah.
Very straightforward. I don't blind MST because I'm not a fool, but I do run the Heavy Storm, obviously.
You do blind Heavy Storm?
Yeah, dude. I do blind Heavy Storm all the time. One Rhoda, because we're running so many warriors, why not run essentially a free upstart that gets me exactly what I need?
So why not 2?
Why not 2? Because the second one is in the side, you
okay,
idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to see two of them. Usually I want to activate one at a point in the game. If I'm top decking, it goes into a top decking war, that one of Rhoda helps me get into exactly what I need, a DD Warrior Lady, a Blade Knight, whatever that might be. But I only need one because I side the second one. But then the trap lineup is very basic. 5 traps.
Standard 5 traps.
I don't like Sakuretsu.
4 traps.
4 traps, not even 5. I don't like Sakuretsu. I don't like Tusk Tornado. I don't think those are worth putting in the main deck because they're 1-for-1s. I like cards that give me control over the field, and since I'm worried about Heavy Storm, I don't want to set more than 1 or 2 cards at a time. My ideology about it is that I set 1 trap and then 1 quick play spell, and then they waste their Heavy Storm essentially because they only got rid of 1 trap and then one that the spells are chainable exactly. Yeah. So they like waste their fucking Heavy Storm, and then I can start setting as much as I want. But that's the entire deck. It's at a 40 card deck, so pretty thin, pretty straightforward, very basic, but I'd like to say it's consistent. So, going on to the side deck though.
Alright, side deck.
Side deck 2 Penguin Soldier, because look at this little guy. How could you say no to that face, alright? So, when you play against Warrior Toolbox or anything that beats down, essentially, you set this and you ruin their field advantage, so, and then lets you go off, or as much as you can really go off and go format, I guess. 2 Gemini Imps starting to side this. I haven't really been able to play it, but if they run Empty Jar, or if they activate Graceful Charity, and this just so happens to be in your hand, pretty cool card to use. So, pretty straightforward. I run 2 Mystic Swordsman level 2s. This thing gets rid of those set cards like super coolly. Like that's the best word I can think of. Super coolly. You heard it here, bro. Listen, so Blade Knight sucks because when you summon it, it can be the only monster that can attack. And then if you have another monster in the field like Xerion or DD Warrior Lady, like that effect sucks, you know? So I like running this card against decks like Chaos or Empty Jar because they need to have that set effect resolve, and I run the Rhoda so I can consistently search into it. So now I have 2 searchers for this card, and I also run the Blade Knight, so I have a lot of ways to get over flip effects, essentially. So that's pretty standard, though. A lot of people put that in GOAT. Then 2 creature swaps. If I know I'm going to go second, and if I'm playing against something like Zoo, I end up just giving them a scapegoat, and I take one of their Xerions or their DD Warrior Lady.
Take one of the huge guys.
Yeah, essentially, like, I'm just giving them a shitty monster I'm done with, and then I take control of one of their better ones. I think it's a fun little tech choice. Not the best choice in my opinion, but definitely pretty fun. But 1 Ceasefire. It's at 1 in that format. Flip effect monsters are pretty vital, and I want to stop them as soon as possible. Exactly. Hitting the Faith, hitting the Koichi. Even against Benkai OTK, this stops that. Pretty good. So I like this card a lot. I want to be able to draw into it if I'm playing against a heavy set deck, but if I don't draw into this, ideally I would draw into the Rhoda or the Mystic Swordsman, so this is just an extra little bonus on top of that. Then I run 2 7 Tools of the Bandit.
7 Tools.
Because, I mean, like, if you're about to summon BLS and start swinging for a game and they have 1 card set, if that's a Sakuretsu or a Mirror Force, you lost, bro. And you suck, dude. And you deserve it. And if you're playing against a deck like Zoo and they main deck their Solemn Judgments, this is really nice to side in because they're probably going to keep their Judgments in because that's a pretty much universal, like, I stop you kind of play. But then they pay half their life points and then you negate it. So it's like, fuck you, dude. I just played 7 Tools. I'm a scrub, bro, but I just beat you. And that's why I like this card. It gets over a lot of things, especially since the traps are so important.
Makes a scrub good.
Just makes scrubs good, bro, and I'm a scrub, bro, so I'm playing to the rules, you know what I mean? And the last 3 cards I run in my side deck are Trap Dust Shoot. If I'm going first, game 2, if I lost game 1, I definitely want to draw into this and ruin any hand advantage they might have.
These are just usually just turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not main decking these, you should be siding these. If you're not siding these, then you suck, bro. Alright, so lastly, let's go into the extra deck. I have quite a bit of extra deck cards here, but I guess we should go into having like the most important cards stand out. Obviously, you want to run 4 tokens.
4 tokens in the extra deck.
Yeah,
Alright.
but they're pretty. There's generic stuff you run in Go Control. 3,000 as restrict. You're probably not going to go into a third one ever. But if you Magician of Faith your meta back into your hand and you activate it, you
there
want to
you
have
go.
the third one.
Just
So
in case.
it's just consistency, you know. You run your 3s, your 4s, your 5s. The important 5s are this one and this one. Pretty good cards. Read their effects. Learn what they do. Jama King, bro, good 6 card to go into. I've had one of my friends, Zach, summon this off of he snatch steal my Jin Zone, summon this.
What a
and
beefcake,
this
dude.
put in so much work. It's a beefcake. You have to either, there's no way to punch over it.
Yeah, look at that
Zoo,
cheese, dude.
BLS doesn't get over it. You have to BLS banish this.
Yep.
That's a problem.
The biggest cheese on earth.
Oh,
dude.
absolutely. Cheesy ass guy. Look at that guy. Look at those calves. Got some cheese on there, bro. And then we got another level 6 Ryusenshi. Pretty good card. You should read what that card does. Then we got some generic stuff. Again, this is another one of the good cards. You should run your goat deck. Read what it does. I don't care what it does. 7s and 8s. This is pretty good, actually. I love the idea of snatch stealing a BLS and putting it into a Dark Paladin and swinging for game. Not that you have to, just a good idea in my opinion. Then you run 2 other random cards. I don't know what they even do or how to summon into them, but it's nice to have the option there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. That's my extra deck. That's my side. The tokens are vital, but
Tokens are vital. You have to have tokens to play this deck.
you have to. I mean,
Have to
if
have
you don't have the
tokens.
tokens, and if they're not official Konami tokens, then why are you even playing the game? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Alright, Bob, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Of course, swag.
Swag. Goat Pioneer. Swag.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, man. Go
Peace.
tournament soon.
Tournament, yeah, let's do that. I like playing the game.
Alright.
Let's do it. Swag, peace, swag.
Peace. Swag.